Carly Ray, Magic in the Morning, Good Policies time. We led into that coming out of our news headlines. And Mike Barrett joins us and has for quite a bit of time. Mike, I've lost track how long, but good morning to you. What a way to start the day, huh?
Yeah, it's beautiful out there. Absolutely. It's going to be a nice one. I mean, what is this? A photocopy of yesterday where we got up to near 70 or just over 70 in some areas. So if you noticed, I actually shielded, I've got my wintertime outfit where I've got my button-up shirt and then I have a pullover, like sweaterish type thing over it. That's gone. That's like getting rid of the winter coat. So it feels kind of liberating.
Well, the one thing that doesn't go away is a cup of coffee. Glad to have you in here to sip with us.
I don't care
here.
if it's 101, my friend. A cup of coffee is in my hand.
Bingo. Good Policies. We tell you how to get the most out of your insurance dollars. It's been a tough market here lately. But I'm looking at the calendar. We're, in the first full week of May. We're getting real close to graduation. And every once in a while, when we do our weather observation, I see the Linden Institute driver's ed rig.
Oh, yeah.
That makes me start thinking about something this time of year.
Yeah.
New drivers.
New drivers. Springtime brings a lot of newness, and apparently new drivers is one of them, right? We always think of it this time of the year, but strangely enough, people have birthdays all year round. But anyway, but it's a good time because it's a good time for students or youthful operators that want to take their driving exam. I don't know how many that want to take it in the wintertime on slick roads. So this brings it to some level of expedience. And one of the things I like to bring up, and I hear about this every so often, I heard about it again recently, is when I'm talking about your children. So if mom and dad, your child gets their license, and you've heard from somebody that says, oh, you don't have to add them to your auto insurance policy unless they have a claim.
You can't do that.
I hear that a lot. I've heard other insurance agents have told people that. I will tell you right now that that's not something I will ever tell anybody. We talk about how this is good policies. And you said it when we were off the air kind of chatting, giving kind of a highlight of what we should talk about this morning. And you brought up honesty is the best policy. Yes, sir, it is. Because here we are. We talked about this incredibly hard market that we're in right now. Increased underwriting scrutiny, higher prices, so on and so forth. Well, another part of a hard market might be that an insurance company will rest on their laurels and rest on their contract. Remember, this is a contract that's approved by the state in which it's in. So that means every state with their own insurance laws has approved the contract for what you have for your auto insurance, your homeowner insurance, so on and so forth. That's approved. So they're exercising a contract, and that contract could very well say, you need to be disclosing all operators. So you are really looking at a possibility of a declined claim especially in this market, if you have a youthful operator that you have not disclosed to your auto insurance. That's huge. That's huge.
Well, you mentioned, and we're talking about, folks, adding your kids as a driver to your automobile insurance. There's something to think about here, okay? As a parent, I was always worried about my son's driving ability, okay? Well, when you're not in the car and they are, it's not that they're going to be doing something wrong, but something may happen and they may not have known how to avoid it. I mean, this is why we say this all the time. They call them accidents for a reason. Mm-hmm. So I can't imagine any parent or any caregiver out there not wanting to have their young loved one covered.
Right. And, and truth be told, they're technically they're going to be. I mean, insurance follows the vehicle. And I think that's the kind of what leads this thought process is, well, if insurance follows the vehicle, then I don't necessarily need to. Well, yes, you do. In an auto insurance policy, you are supposed to list all household members that are permitted or licensed. Now, you actually list the licensed operators, and then we just kind of note that you have permitted operators. Now, if you look back at history and somebody whose child was not on their auto policy and that child had a claim, was it paid? Maybe. I can't say definitively one way or the other. The insurance company has the right to go, how long ago did they get their license? We're going to, out of your claim payment, we're going to take back the premium that you should have been paying since they were licensed operators. That's one way that they can do it. I mean, here's the gamble, right? You're essentially at a slot machine pulling the lever, and either A, they're going to pay the claim, B, they're going to pay the claim minus what you should have been paying for the insurance for them to be listed, or worse, they're going to deny the claim entirely. So especially if you're shopping for insurance, and this is where it makes the most sense. If you've had the same insurance policy for any number of years and then your child gets licensed, yes, you're omitting that information, but you're not omitting it on the application, which is the contract initiation, right? So if you're getting new insurance and not putting them on, then you're materially misrepresenting what the exposure is, and that's worse.
All right, I'm going to try to tie something in here. In previous coverage matters, whether it's automobile, business, home insurance, renter's insurance, and such like that.
Sure.
We've always talked about the dollar, and that seems to be the almighty dollar makes everybody's determination on what they're going to.
Without a doubt.
Right.
Yep.
So it can't be an absorbent or a huge expense to add a driver, or maybe you got twins, to add two drivers to your insurance. It can't be all that expensive.
It is. It can be a sticker shock depending on the circumstance. Now, there are some insurance companies out there that when you go to add a youthful operator, holy moly, you better be sitting down to see what the price is going to be. It could be extensive. It could be really expensive. And then you can go to some companies and go, that's it. So if there's ever a time to shop, it's if you are getting sticker shock with adding a youthful. Now, if you have two parents, two vehicles, and a youthful getting their license, and you don't have any additional vehicles, you now have three drivers, two vehicles. That youthful is going to be assigned as an occasional operator. That'll be less cost annually than if dad or mom have a play vehicle. So now they have three vehicles. Doesn't matter if the son or daughter doesn't drive that vehicle. You have three vehicles, three drivers. That could change up how that's going to cost. So you're probably looking between $700 to $1,400 a year in additional cost just to add them in general. Then if you give them a full-time vehicle with liability only, probably $1,400 to $1,600 to $1,700. And then if you're looking at a vehicle with insurance, you could look at more. Those are worst-case scenarios. I have some that are seeing $900 a year total with their own car. So looking around and comparing options and maybe shopping your insurance at that time makes an incredible amount of sense. I have people that I have with one company all the way through from when we first wrote them. Now the child gets licensed. Oop, not a good plan anymore. Let's switch you. And then 4 or 5 years, they're with somebody else. And then that child moves out of the household, is on their own. I put them back with that other carrier, So it's about making it work for you in that situation. So leverage your exposure. I saw on TikTok, please don't judge me, I mentioned that, but I saw on TikTok that somebody had an undisclosed driver and had their claim denied, which is really what kicked this off for a conversation today, just for a little bit of a backstory.
All right. Well, as my dad always said, the stupidest question is the one you never ask. So if folks have questions,
give us a call, 748-5224. You can find us on Portland Street in St. Johnsbury, online, thebarrettagency.com, Google, Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. Just look for Barrett Insurance Agency. And Jeff, I'll tell you this, my son is 10, and I'm already saving up for when he turns 16. So.
Smart man. Good policies with Magic in the Morning. Stay right there. Jelly Roll and Jesse Murphy coming up.